Hello, and welcome to Story Hour with Miss Barbara. Have you ever heard something and then found out that it wasn't there? This happened to me once when I was just newly married, living on a farm in Indiana, in an old farmhouse that had 5 acres of land on one side and 5 acres on the other, and an empty field across the street. And in front of the house was a large circular driveway. Now, this particular day, I was working in the downstairs bedroom, putting some clothes away, and my husband, Mark, was in town, but I was expecting him to come home soon. And then suddenly I heard the crunch of the gravel under the tires as the car pulled into the circular drive, and then I heard the car door slam. And a little while later, I heard the front door open and I heard footsteps in the living room. And then nothing. I didn't hear voice or steps come into the dining room. I didn't hear a package get laid on the table. Nothing. So I thought that was strange. Maybe he went right into the office that was right next to the front door off of the living room. So I opened the door of the bedroom and I stepped out and I looked through the windows to the front yard, and there was no little red Volkswagen Rabbit in the circular drive. And I looked around the living room, the office, nobody was there. Very strange. So I went back to my work, and a little while later, sure enough, there was the sound of the car in the driveway, the door opening, footsteps, and there was Mark, all 6'4" of him. So, what happened? Was there a glitch in, or a wrinkle, as you might say, in time, where somehow I got transported a few minutes ahead of myself? I don't know. It's one of the mysteries of my life. Well, Walter de la Mare apparently had a similar experience. And he wrote about it in this poem called Someone Came Knocking. But in his poem, he goes deeper into the experience to, to explore the mystery and the beauty in nature. And here's his poem, Someone Came Knocking by Walter de la Mare. Someone came knocking at my wee small door. Someone came knocking, I'm sure, sure, sure. I listened, I opened, I looked from left to right, but not there was a stirring in the still, dark night. Only the busy beetle tapping in the wall. Only from the forest the screech owl's call. Only the cricket whistling while the dew drops fall. So I know not who came knocking at all, at all, at all. So in this poem, there's the beauty of the language and also the beauty of the beat or the rhythm. What number would you associate with this poem? Well, the number 3 plays a very important role, I would think. For example, at the end of each phrase, there's a beat of 3, like wee small door. Sure, sure, sure. Still, dark night. Tap tapping in the wall. Screech owls call. Dew drops fall. At all, at all, at all. Now, my mother always used to say that the third time is a charm. So I grew up feeling that there's a magic in the number 3. And she also used to say that things happen in threes. So if 2 bad things had happened, you could expect a third to follow. But usually, in my experience, I found out that the third thing was rather mild. So it was kind of like a like a earthquake, the warning, the big boom, and then the aftershock. But there is something about 3. For example, in the story in the Bible of Jesus and Peter, Peter denies that he even knows Jesus 3 times. And Jesus tells him he's going to do this 3 times. And then, after his resurrection, Jesus asked Peter 3 times if he loves him. And by the third time, Peter is distressed that his Lord is asking him for the third time if he loves him. But then you can only imagine how Jesus felt when Peter denied him, even knowing him, for the third time. So in this poem, you can see how Walter de la Mare is saying he heard someone knocking. He was sure, sure, sure. And by the end of the poem, he's saying, I know not who came knocking at all, at all, at all. And to me, those 3 at alls are like a surrender of his own mind to a higher mind. And I think the number 3 helps us again to determine what that higher mind is showing him, because it's 3 things that he hears. The busy beetle tap tapping in the wall. From the forest the screech owls call. And then the cricket whistling. Well, and the fourth is the most profound, while the dew drops fall. There you're going even beyond sound to something else. And so it's in nature that he finds his transcendence that lifts him beyond. So someone has put this poem to music, and it goes like this. Someone came knocking at my wee small door. Someone came knocking, I'm sure, sure, sure. I listened, I opened, I looked from left to right, but not there was a stirring in the still, dark night. Only the busy beetle tap tapping in the wall. Only from the forest the screech owls call. Only the cricket whistling while the dewdrops fall. So I know knocking at all, at all. And for the younger grades from kindergarten to grade 3, this can be done as a circle activity. You put some actions to it. It goes like this. Someone came knocking at my wee small door. Someone came knocking, I'm sure, sure, sure. I listened, I opened, I looked from left to right, but not there was a stirring in the still, dark night. Only the busy beetle tapping in the wall. Only from the forest the screech owl's call. Only the cricket whistling while the dewdrops fall. So I know not who came knocking at all, at all. So that is my story for Someone Came Knocking. Thanks for listening and see you next time.